Good day, doctor. We are from Group 2, and my name is Wong Wai, metric number 279826. Our topic is Alibaba is acquiring Lazada to win the Southeast Asia e-commerce battle. In April 2016, Alibaba acquired Lazada to enter the Southeast Asian market and gain an additional source of revenue. The acquisition by Alibaba would enable Lazada to continue to pursue its strategic imperatives and to leverage Alibaba's successful experience and other resources in China. This video will explain the few questions between Alibaba and Lazada in order to win the Southeast Asia e-commerce battle. The first question is, which of Lazada's strategic assets are useful for Alibaba? Firstly, Lazada's competitive advantages in the area, including as its brand recognition, is a valuable strategic asset for Alibaba. Actually, it will take years if Alibaba decides to start them from scratch with greenfield investments. Alibaba's potential in Southeast Asia will grow thanks to the merger with Lazada. More than 640 million people live in Southeast Asia, which includes Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and also Philippines. These nations have also seen a rapid expansion in their gross domestic product, foreign direct investment, and consumption capacity. Additionally, Lazada enjoys a strong following because to its positive image and the fact that it is presently the most visited website in Asian nations. The agreement has Alibaba, the largest e-commerce business in the world, in a prime position to further its plans to grow in ASEAN, which presents a wealth of prospects, in contrast to oversaturated markets like China. The second strategy asset that is helpful to Alibaba is the logistic infrastructure of Lazada. Southeast Asia lack of coherent logistics infrastructure despite the region tremendous in e-commerce boom. Corruption in emerging nations and inconsistent cross-border taxation have proved that to be obstacles to the growth of international shopping. Lazada concentrated on developing its own logistical support while strengthening its relationships with third-party sellers in order to provide a simple purchasing experience. As consequence of this plan, Alibaba and the Malaysian government signed a pact in March 2017 to convert 45 hectares of land near KLIA into an e-fulfillment hub to assist hub in Malaysia. In order to draw clients, it also announced plans to create its first logistics operation outside of China, a global distribution warehouse in Malaysia. The third strategy is payment gateways, such as those used for electronic payments using card payments and e-wallets. Because it is less expensive and dangerous for both business and customers, these practical payments gateways are essential to the expansion of e-commerce. In Southeast Asia, e-commerce is widely used, yet to the majority of clients still prefer to pay using ATMs. An online payments method is preferred by 66.5% of Southeast Asian businesses, and in addition, a nation like Indonesia has hundreds of islands, which makes distribution and logistics difficult and expensive. For example, HelloPay is a safe online payment mechanism that Lazada has introduced that also enables non-card holders to make payments. Through the Alibaba and Lazada acquisition, Alibaba declared that its mobile and digital payment system and financial will join forces with HelloPay. The operation has effectively redesigned the Alipay e-payment platform, enhancing consumer confidence and bolstering Alibaba and Lazada's regional mobile and platforms. Due to the region's ability to grow and attract more investment, Alibaba and Lazada will see an increase in revenue and client base. Last but not least, the fourth strategy is the strategic alliances between Lazada and also other businesses. For instance, by forming Live Up, a membership club that offers perks like as rebates from Lazada and discounts for Netflix, Uber, and the Taobao collection. Lazada has strengthened its company by working with Netflix and Uber technologies. In addition, Lazada and Unilever are working together to dominate the quickly expanding consumer products sector in the area. The collaborations between Lazada and other businesses will improve the ecology of the Lazada platform, which also will benefit Alibaba.
Hi everyone, I'm Mikael and my metric number is 276878. I would like to present about the question 2: what are the motivations and strategy rationales for Alibaba to invest in Southeast Asia? The reason Alibaba invested in Southeast Asia is that there are a few factors such as the growing middle class in Southeast Asia and also the rise of the internet economy. Southeast Asia is a potential and fourth largest regional market after China, India, and United States with approximately 640 million citizens. There are 70% who are born in generation and grow together with the advancement of the technology environment. Southeast Asia is a region under the ASEAN to collaborate to boost the economic growth within the regions. There are estimated that the growth in the middle class within the regions soon become the second largest markets among the emerging markets, on par with that of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Southeast Asia are the fast-growing and potential market for the e-commerce industry. Indonesia, fast-growing internet market in the world with 19% annually from 2015 to 2020. 3% of growth in income and internet adoptions in Asia show a low penetration rate. The graph shows that the internet user in Southeast Asia from 2019 to 2026. In the graph, the percentages of populations and the internet user are increasing from 2019 to 2021. However, the percentages of change in internet user are dropped from 2020 to 2021. There are few motivation and rationale that Alibaba to invest in Southeast Asia. Global ambition. Alibaba desire to generate a profit of more than 50% in another country in a further 20 years, provide services to more than 2 billion customers, make it possible for 10 million businesses, and create 100 million job opportunity to accomplish its commitments. Alibaba invested significantly in the internet-related business that had the potential to grow over the previous 10 years. Chinese economy downturn and the emergence of the new competitors in the e-commerce field has created a crisis for Alibaba. Alibaba decided to look for a way to generate more revenue in order to sustain the company growth. The economic situation had negative impact on Alibaba gross merchandise volume growth. Alibaba continually strives to boost the company revenue during China economic crisis. Alibaba aimed to increase the Lazada GMV to 100 billion GMV and double its number of customers to 300 million users in 2030. Southeast Asia e-commerce website Lazada has received a 378.5 million injection for issuing new shares to its parent company Alibaba Singapore. The investment is the largest since Alibaba 1.3 billion investment in the firm in June 2020. The firm recorded a GMV of 21 billion and 159 million users in the 12 months and end September 2021. It lacked larger rival Shopee owned by the C Group, which recorded a 62.5 billion GMV last year. Moreover, the largest competitor of Alibaba in China is JD.com, which provides the efficiency in its own logistic infrastructure. The performance in the e-commerce industry presented by the growth of the GMV. Alibaba has tried to manage its revenue during the depression economy, while it was still paying attention to the industry rivals, which could adversely affect its leading position potentially. Alibaba has recently made a plan to expand Lazada to Europe in order to diversify its growth as competitions had heated up in China. Alibaba already has a presence in Europe through AliExpress, which does cross-border sales from China. The acquisition of Alibaba and Lazada empowered the organization to access their knowledge and insight with each other. Furthermore, Lazada had been encouraged to invest and optimize the platform ecosystem in order to improve its competitiveness within the industry. It is also enabled Southeast Asian sellers to build a business relationship with a knowledgeable seller in China. The integration of resources from both companies, such as the data and analytic resources, create the largest amount of capital available for business development globally.
Hello everyone, my name is Xiang Yu. My match number is 265348. My party is Christian 3. I will first explain 3 ways Alibaba is entering the Southeast Asian market. Acquisition may expand the Southeast Asian e-commerce industry with a specialist platform, but it's expensive, risky, and the Southeast Asian e-commerce technology is immature. Next, the strategic alliance will focus on business continuous and cost sharing. Its costs include both parties need a lot of time to negotiate agreement, culture conflict, and merging companion with distinct products can upset the industry. A greenfield investment will have more liberty to plan project, increase companions' technology and managerial monopoly. Long cycle time, slow pace, lack of flexibility, high expenses, and high risky are negotiation. The acquisition of Lazada is the greatest route for Alibaba to penetrate the Southeast Asian market. Because the region has huge potential and more people using e-commerce, especially after pandemic. Southeast Asian connect e-commerce supply chain channel is the hub for Europe, American, and other regions. Despite Green Onion, Lazada ran out of money. Alibaba's money can help Lazada build a larger logistic network and add more facilities in Southeast Asia. Next, about what possible reaction could other e-commerce players have to this strategic move. E-commerce players may experience pressure. Alibaba, one of the world's top e-commerce companies, will have a plan to win a Southeast Asian. Larger companies have more bureaucratic, hierarchical system. Competition is needed. This organization's board and CEO have to most impact. Single people, small group, or both run most small business. Other companions will confront this. Lazada use new strategy. Alibaba will have additional resources and financial to continue R&D in Southeast Asia until it satisfies local customer demand. Innovate to compete with Lazada. Lazada will be backed by the world's largest e-commerce firm, making it one of the greatest online e-commerce platforms for local consumers. If no one else competes, larger companies expansion hard, small business profit. Large companies can hire more market and product designer to expand. Small enterprise lack resort to compete with larger one. That's all for me. Thank you.
A very good day to Doctor and everyone. I will be answering and explaining question 4, which is, should Alibaba integrate Lazada or employ a partnering approach in order to realize the greatest benefit of each company? Based on the acquisition of Lazada by Alibaba, we believe that Alibaba should employ a partnering approach. This is because it seems quite risky for both companies to engage as a whole in early stage. The integration plan also may be very complicated for both Alibaba and Lazada because of the level of interdependency throughout the whole process. Plus, the integration may freeze or fail entirely if the strategy or the tasks to carry out are poorly defined, ambiguous, or carried out by several teams without coordination. Furthermore, Alibaba may not be familiar with the consumer base in the Southeast Asian region, as it is located outside of China. This is why Alibaba should consider a partnering approach to allow Lazada continue operating independently. Instead of rushing to integrate Lazada, both of the companies should concentrate on what it does great first, while learning with each other to utilize the assets and skills to further their objective, especially in understanding their own customer base. The act of integrating Lazada right away might surprise many important parties, including the loyal customers, so it is very important to take things slowly. Other than that, through a partnering approach, a collaborative environment where both companies can easily share ideas and best practices can also be created. This is one of the effective strategies to hunt for synergies in several areas without interrupting existing progress. So talking about synergies, the best option for Alibaba and Lazada to realize their greatest benefit is by hunting for synergies in few stages instead of going after them entirely. This is because exchanging operational knowledge in a step-by-step process, which often transferred from the acquirer to the acquired, is the key to coordinate and communicate about the best plans for both companies. Just like any other approach, of course, the partnering approach also have its own limitations. Basically, the advantages that are often brought about by the collaboration of two businesses take longer to develop its growth. In short, Alibaba should consider taking partnering approach with Lazada instead of integrating Lazada because it is less risky and it will allow those two companies to combine their synergies in order to realize the greatest benefit from each company. After all, the idea of partnering approach alone is to complement each other and is not substitutable.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zahira binti Muhammad Sufyan and my metric number is 270508. Now, I will continue the presentation, which is question number 5 about how Alibaba and Lazada can achieve and maintain leadership position in the Southeast Asian e-commerce market. So, Alibaba and Lazada can achieve and maintain leadership positions in the Southeast Asian e-commerce market by using a 4-action framework to create new value propositions and differentiate themselves from other players. This is because the use of 4 frameworks can maintain their leading competitive position in the e-commerce market. The first process and strategy are eliminate. With the removal, Alibaba and Lazada will need to identify and shortlist the factors that will cause certain industries to compete in the long run and that may need to be eliminated now. These factors include outdated technology, routine operating processes, and a strict human resources base. The second process is leave. Under this option, Alibaba and Lazada will be able to identify factors it wants to increase far above the industry average in its own settings and operations. These factors will give the company an advantage over other competitors and will give it a competitive advantage. These factors include organizational culture, human resources training, and policy, technological innovation, and market research capabilities. The third process is create. Under the act of creating, Alibaba and Lazada were able to develop and identify new strategic factors and capacities to the industry in general that had never been introduced before. With this capacity, companies will be able to maintain and control costs and at the same time be able to offer higher value to buyers. Through this process as well, companies will be able to create sustainable advantages and refine first move advantages through capacity building that will provide sustainable advantages. The last process is reduce. Under this strategic option, Alibaba and Lazada will need to evaluate and review specific industry as well as identify factors and aspects that need to be mitigated in their expansion plans in order to make the most of untapped market space and related opportunities. So, following the acquisition, the Blue Ocean model and framework has enabled the company to explore new market space that are not yet competitive or are actively used by existing players in the current business environment. In doing so, Alibaba and Lazada have been able to create new demand rather than fighting and encouraging an existing competition space. So that's all from us. Thank you.